श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् अपारकरुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्.
Mama, there is no audio. Actually, we are not able to hear. Mama, you need to unmute.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Shrutismritipurananam alayam karunalayam namami bhagavatpada Shankaram lokashankaram sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya madhyamam asmadacharya paryantam Vande GurorMandalam. We started yesterday this program Vande GurorMandalam with the abundant blessings of Acharya Swamiji. We completed Ganesha Bhujangam up to Shloka number 7 yesterday. We continue with Shloka number 8 now. Vasanta Lakshmi. Shloka number 8.
चिदानन्दसान्द्राय शान्ताय तुभ्यं नमो विश्वकर्त्रे च हर्त्रे च तुभ्यं नमो नन्तलीलाय कैवल्यभासे नमो विश्वबीजप्रसीदेश सूनो.
Chidananda Sandraya. Now, up to Shloka number 6, we were enjoying the form of Ganesha. Now, Shloka number 7, we went from the form to the formless, to the Parabrahma Swarupa. Now we are continuing with the same streak, but we are since this is a completing shloka, we are saying our prostration to Ganapati. We say our prostration and we are summarizing all that we have said so far. Chidananda Sandraya. Chit Ananda Sandraya. Sandra means something solid, ghana, solidified. If you imagine solidified Ananda, if you imagine solidified Chit, consciousness, that is what Ganapati is. Now, Sat, Chit, Ananda is a normal, formal description of Parabrahman. Now, removing Sat from this, because we have got a form in front of us, Ganapati's form, so there's no need to describe him as Sat. Sat means existing at all times, not bound by the limitations of time and space. So, since he is there in front of us, he is not talking about Sat. He is saying Chit Ananda Sandraya, the very solidified form of Chit and Ananda, consciousness and bliss. Shantaya, peace. Now, Shanti is not something which we normally come across in our day-to-day life. Now, what we have in our day-to-day life is periods of freedom from worry. That is not Shanti really. We are always worried and we say, okay, that worry is over. We will be off that worry for 5 minutes. Then the next worry comes. So this is the interregnum between worries. That is not really Shanti. Shanti means continuous peace, continuous experience of peace. No agitation in the mind, no worry, no nothing. That is Shanti. Now that can be achieved only if we cut off our bonds with samsara and take refuge in Ganapati's lotus feet. That is why he is saying Shantaya, because he is the very form of Shanti. Now, Shanti is the highest attainment. That is why Bhagavad Gita says, Ashantasya kutas sukham. If you are not having Shanti, you cannot experience any sukha. So, Namo Vishwakartrecha Hartrecha Tubhyam. You are the creator of this universe. Vishwa is the universe. Not only this Bhumi, there are 7 lokas above, 7 lokas below, 14 bhuvanas. That is one Brahmanda. There are several Brahmandas like that. Now all that comes under the overall description Vishwa. Now he is the creator of this universe and he is also the destroyer of this universe who makes the universe disappear and makes the jivas into subtle sukshma rupa and absorbs. That is why it is called not called destruction, it is called dissolution of the universe. When the universe gets dissolved, all these jivas assume sukshma forms, subtle forms, and get absorbed in Ganapati. Namo Vishwakartreta Hartreta Tubhyam. Namo Ananta Leelaya. His sports, his Leelas are endless. There are many stories connected with Ganapati. Now, even his avatara, there are a lot of stories. The way Parvati created Ganapati out of turmeric. There is one story like that. There is another story in Skanda Puranam where it says Parvati and Parameshwara were going round in the Chitramantapa and they saw a male and female elephant and there is a Omkara in between the two elephants. And when they were seeing the elephants and the Omkara, suddenly this Ganapati came up from the painting. This is another. So everything is a Leela. His very avatara is a Leela. All his actions are Leelas. In the morning lecture, I was citing a couple of instances of his great Leelas. One was that in Tamil Nadu, we value Kaveri river very much. Now, this Kaveri river came to us only because of Ganapati. Now, sage Agastya brought Kaveri from Kailasa in his Kamandalu, Kaveri waters in his Kamandalu very carefully. He brought all this distance and he was sitting in the Malaya mountain and he was doing tapas. He was engaged in dhyana. At that time, the Ganapati was waited and waited. He was not, Agastya was not releasing the waters from Kamandalu because Devas were complaining to Ganapati, praying to Ganapati for some relief from the drought that was there in this area. So, and that was the time when Surapadma was also creating all kinds of trouble. So there was a lot of trouble in this part of the world, and Ganapati came into the picture. He tilted that, he assumed the form of a crow and tilted the Kamandalu, and the waters were released in the form of Kaveri. Now Agastya naturally became very angry with the crow. He went after the crow. Crow became a brahmachari. He fought with the brahmachari, and then brahmachari assumed the form of Ganapati, and then Agastya prostrated to him. That is how Kaveri came up. Similarly, I mentioned another story connected with Kashi because Kashi is very much in our consciousness now. Our Periyava has spent all his more than 3 months in Chaturmasam and the later period in Kashi. Now, Kashi, as all of us know, is known for Vishwanatha, and that kshetra is called Avimukta Kshetra. That means Vishwanatha never leaves that kshetra. Avimukta means he never leaves that place. But there was a time when not only Vishwanatha, everybody, all the devatas had to leave Kashi. That was when a king called Devodasa assumed kingship, and he was very powerful. He was a great tapasvi. He had all the powers of all the devas, mind you. All the powers of all the devas he was able to exercise. Surya, Agni, etc., etc. So he said, I don't want any devatas, please vacate. Now, all of them had to vacate, and Shiva also had to vacate. Shiva with Parvati went to Mandara mountain, and then they were waiting and waiting for quite a number of years for Devodasa to change his mind and call them back, but it never happened. Then Shiva sent a lot of emissaries. He first sent Surya, then he sent Agni, he then sent Yogini Devatas. He sent many of the Devatas. He sent Brahma finally. All of them went to Kashi. They never returned because they were all enamored of Kashi. They stayed there. They never found any fault with Devodasa's rule. So they could not do anything to upset the kingdom. So they were very happy. They stayed there. Then Shiva knew this. Then he finally dispatched Vishnu and Ganapati. Both of them, Vishnu went there first. He was very good in Kapata Nataka, as we all know. So he confused the minds of certain people, a lot of people influencing the king and the king himself. And then Ganapati came, he assumed the form of an astrologer. He also confused them. Finally, he made the king agree that this is a time for Devatas to return because Shiva wants to return to Kashi. And they also assured him that in 10 days you are going to Kailasa, the Vimana is coming. So after 10 days Vimana came, he went to Kailasa, Shiva also took his place. Now all this happened because of Ganapati. So that is one of the, that's why he is called Dhundi Ganapati, because he went in search of other devatas who went before him, including Brahma. Nobody came back, so he went in search of them. That is why he is called Dhundi Ganapati. Now, this story, I have written a brief article in Kamakoti website, and Ganapati's leelas are endless. Kaivalya Bhase. He is shining with the glow of Kaivalya, of moksha. That means his very shine is that of moksha. He doesn't have to give moksha from somewhere. His very form shines with moksha. So if you look at him, you will get a part of that shine. Automatically you will get moksha. So Kaivalya Bhase. Bhasa means shine. Namo Vishwabija Praside Ishasuno. Vishwabija means seed of the universe. Now, we said he is the creator of the universe. When you create, you can always create with materials other than yourself. Now, for example, when we create an object, we need raw materials. We cannot create anything from our own resources, from our own body, our own form. But Bhagavan is not like that. He is all powerful. He doesn't need any raw material. He creates the universe with the help of his own powers called Maya. With the help of the power of Maya, he creates. Now, so he is the universe in seed form. He is the universe in seed form, which expands into the universe because of his power of Maya. So the seed is himself, the expansion is also himself, there is nothing other than himself. That is our Advaita Siddhanta. That is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, because Jagat is looking like truth, but it is not truth. So this seed is the only truth, and that is Ganapati. Prasida Ishasuno, be pleased with us, give us Anugraha, O Shivaputra. That is how it concludes. Chidananda Sandra. Sandra means this term is being used by Narayana Bhattatri frequently. The very first shloka, very first word is Sandrananda Avabodhatmakam. Ananda Avabodha, which is mentioned as Chitu and Ananda here. Both mean the same. So there also he is using the same term right at the beginning. So we are saying that you are the very form, solidified form of consciousness and bliss. You are the very form of peace, which is the highest attainment for a human being. You are the creator of this universe. You are the dissolver of this universe in time, and you have your leelas are endless. Your sports are endless. Your very shine, your very radiance is moksha, and you are the feed of this universe, the source of this universe. Vishaputra, please be pleased with us. Chidananda Sandraya Shantaya Tubhyam Namo Vishvakartre cha Hartre cha Tubhyam Namo Nantaleelaya Kaivalya Bhase Namo Vishvabija Prasidesha Suno. Next. What happened, Vasanta Lakshmi?
Sorry, ma'am. Imam sustavam pratarutthaya bhaktya pathedyastu matyo labhet sarvakaman गणेश प्रसादेन सिद्ध्यन्ति वाचो गणेशे विभो दुर्लभं किं प्रसन्ने.
Imam Sustavam, this beautiful poem, beautiful because it talks about Ganapati's various aspects. So it is beautiful. It is beautiful in itself. That is a different thing. After all, it is Adi Shankara's writing. It has to be beautiful. But that is not what he is mentioning. What he is mentioning is anything. If you chant the name of Bhagavan, that is beautiful. So here we are not only chanting the name of Bhagavan, we are recounting all the qualities of his head and heart. So it is Sustavam. So that kind of beautiful stotra, Prataha Utthaya Bhaktya. If one gets up in the morning, Utthaya means getting up. Recently we had Utthana Ekadashi, when Bhagavan got up from his sleep after 4 months. That is why it's called Utthana. Utthana means getting up. So Prataha Utthaya Bhaktya, you get up from sleep in the early morning and with devotion. If you read Pathetu Yastu, whoever reads this, Martyaha, whoever human being. Martyaha means human being. Because we are all known as Martyas because we are subject to death, Mrityu. Devas are not subject to death. That's why they are called Amartyas. And that is why that's called Amartya Loka, and our Loka is called Martya Loka. So whichever human being reads this, Labhet Sarvakaman, he will attain all his desires. Ganesha Prasadena Siddhyanti Vachaha. Now, having said all desire, he is emphasizing one desire. Ganesha prasadena, with the anugraha of Ganesha, with the blessing of Ganesha, vachaha siddhanti, all your words become fruitful. Whatever you speak will happen. If you say something will happen after 2 days, it is bound to happen because you are a Ganapati Upasaka. So, vachaha siddhanti. Vak siddhi is a great thing, and using vak siddhi, you can help a lot of people. This is a paropakara. You can do paropakara with vak siddhi. That is why he is emphasizing that, because your aim should be to do paropakara. That is how you should get rid of your karma and be eligible for moksha. Ganeshe vibhau durlabham kim prasanne. Vibhau Ganeshe. Ganesha is Vibhu. Vibhu means all pervading. There is no place where he is not there because he is independent of beyond time and space. Time does not dissect him, space does not dissect him because he is beyond time and space. So he is Vibhu. That kind of Ganesha, when he is happy, prasanne, when he is very happy, kim durlabham, what is difficult to attain? There is nothing difficult to attain. Now the most difficult to attain is moksha, as we all know. Now even that moksha, he will be willing to bless us with if we show our devotion properly. That is how this is a Phalashruti, end of the Ganesha Bhujangam Stotra. He says, if a human being gets up early in the morning and reads this Stotra, beautiful Stotra with devotion, he will attain all his desires, and because of, by the blessing of Ganesha, all his words will find fulfillment. They will be successful. And when the all-pervading Ganapati is happy with you, what is difficult to attain? You will attain everything, including the highest Purushartha. Out of the 4 Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha, Moksha is the highest Purushartha which we should aim at. Even that will not be difficult for you. Imam sastavam prataruthaya bhaktya patedyastu martyo labhed sarva kaman Ganesha prasadena siddhyanti vacho Ganeshe vibhau durlabham kim prasanne. So this is the end of Ganesha Bhujangam. We have prayed to Ganesha as usual, as is the normal practice at the beginning of any work. We have prayed to Ganesha. Now we are going to pray to Guru, Gurvashtakam. Next is Gurvashtakam. 8 slokas in praise of Guru. Guru is one force who can help you in everything that you want. He is the one for, like Ishvara. He is Ishvara in human form. He is no different from Ishvara. Ishvaraha Guru Rupena. Ishvara comes to us in the form of Guru. So if we show our devotion to Guru, he will help us overcome not only all the worldly difficulties, but also he will help us in our path to moksha. Now start with the first shloka.
शरीरं सुरूपं तथा वा कलत्रं यमश्चारुचित्रं धनं मेरुतुल्यम् मनश्चेन्नलग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं ततः किम्.
Now, this is a very beautiful construction of these 8 slokas. Now, all these 8 slokas end with the same 2 lines, last 2 lines. The last 2 lines of each sloka are the same. And he ends with Tatahkim, 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 Tatahkim. He says it 4 times. That means, what then? Tatahkim means what then? You have this, you have that, but what does it matter? You don't have what is important for you. So he says, what then? So what then is Tatahkim. So let us go into the details now. Shariram Surupam Tathava Kalatram Yashaha Chauru Chitram Dhanam Meru Tulyam. These are all the things that I have. These are all the things that I am boasting of. These are my possessions. I am boasting of these possessions. Now he is saying, you are so happy with these possessions, what is the use? Now he is going to ask that. First he is describing what you consider as your valued possessions. Shariram Surupam, beautiful form, beautiful body. I have a beautiful form. Tathava Kalatram, not only my form is beautiful, my wife's form is also beautiful. Kalatram is wife. So I am beautiful, I am very handsome, my wife is also very beautiful. Yashaha Charu Chitram, my yashas, my fame has gone all over the world. Charu means very beautiful, very esteemed. Everybody looks at me with great respect. Chitram, Yashaha Chitram. Chitram means beautiful, variegated, very bright. Chitra means different colors. That means my yashas is not on one particular aspect. It is on different aspects which attract many different types of people. So many people are attracted to me. So many people sing my praise because of my various attainments. So that is Chitram Yashas. Yashaha Charu Chitram. I am held in great esteem. Not only I am held in great esteem, I am also held in esteem by different walks of life of people and who hold different views. That is Chitram. Dhanam Meru Tulyam. What about my wealth? I have wealth which is equivalent to Meru Tulyam. Meru is Sumeru mountain is made of gold. A mountain made of gold, if you can imagine, a huge mountain, that is the largest mountain. On the top of this mountain is Sripura, where Lalita Parameshwari's abode is there. Now, all the 8 Lokapalakas are there, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, everybody's residence is there on the top of this Meru. So that kind of mountain full of gold, that kind of gold, that kind of wealth I have. My possession of wealth is equivalent to Meru. This is what I think. This is my boasting. That my form is so beautiful, my wife is so beautiful, my fame has spread in all directions. I am held in great esteem. Not only that, I am held in great esteem by different types of people for different reasons. And my wealth is enormous, like a Meru mountain. All this is there. But Manashchenna lagnam gurorandhri padme. Manaha na lagnam chet. If your mind is not attached to, if your mind is not engaged in, lagna means being engaged in, being attached to. This is not the lagnam which astrologers talk about, Kumbha lagnam, Dhanur lagnam, etc. That is different. That is connected with the planetary position. Now here we are talking about getting attached to, getting my mind fixed to, getting myself engaged in, that is Lagna. So if my mind is not engaged in, my mind is not attached to the lotus feet of Guru, Guroho Andhri Padme. Andhri is feet. Pada, Andhri both mean the same. Pada Padme. Padaravinde. So, if my mind is not attached to the lotus feet of Guru, what is the use of all that you boasted of? Tata Kim, what then? What then? If your mind is not attached to Guru, all that is a waste. Whatever you boasted of is a waste. Because they will all go away in no time. They have no life. All the pleasures of this world will lead to dukkha. This is what Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Dukkha yonaya yevate. Adyantavantah kaunteya dukkha yonaya yevate. They all have a beginning and an end, and they have to result in dukkha only. This is what Bhagavan himself has advised us. So naturally, all this which you boasted of are going to result in dukkha. Because shariram is not going to remain the same. Your wife is not going to remain beautiful. Your fame is not going to lost constantly. You are thinking it is constant. It is not. Nothing is constant. So when nothing is constant, When something is definitely constant, something is a constant state, and Guru is there to take you to that state. When you are not working for that, what is the use of your possessing all those things? What is the use of your possessions? Now, ahankara and mamakara, I-ness and mineness. I am this, I have this. I have a beautiful body. I am a very great person. I am a very learned person. I am a very wealthy person. I have wealth. So all these I and me, ahankara and mamakara, are the foundational, the basic illnesses which we all suffer from. Now he is referring to that kind of illness right at the beginning of this Guru Ashtakam. What is our failing? Where are we failing? We are failing in this, that ahankara and mamakara are not leaving us. So he is advising us, please leave your ahankara and mamakara. He is not saying you should not have a beautiful wife, you should not have fame, you should not have dhanam meru tulyam. You have all that. Bhagavan has given you. So take it as Bhagavat Prasada, enjoy, share it with others, but don't consider it as your possession because it will all leave you in no time. So don't get attached to it. So you should get attached only to Guru's lotus feet. Shariram surupam tathava kalatram yashascharu chitram dhanam merutulyam manaschayenna lagnam gurorandhri padme tatakkim 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 tatakkim.
कलत्रं धनं पुत्रपौत्रादि सर्वं गृहं बान्धवाः सर्वमेतद्धि जातम् मनश्चेन्न लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं ततः किम्.
Now he is expanding this idea which was conveyed to us in the first shloka further detailing. Kalatram dhanam putra pautradi sarvam griham bandhavaha sarvam etat hi jatam. Kalatram is wife, dhanam is wealth, putra pautra adi sarvam. My son, my grandson, the son of my son is putra pautra. So my son, my grandson, like this there are many of my possessions. Adi sarvam, all my possessions like this. Then some more he is listing. Griham bandhavaha. Griham is the house. Many people get unnecessarily attached to the house in which they have been living for a few years. So after all, when you are going to leave your own body, when you die, why are you getting so much attached to your house? So griham bandhavaha, then relatives. Relatives are no doubt useful, but don't get too much attached to them. Sarvam etadhi jatam. He has given a list of a few items and then he is concluding saying he means but. Sarvam etadhi jatam. Jatam means born normally, but here it does not mean that. Here it means a collection. Like karma jatam, we say a collection of karmas. So like that, sarvam etat jatam, that means all this collection that you boast of, that you think that you possess. He means but means he has given a list and then he says but, not only that, but also all this which you possess. What is the use if your mind is not attached to the lotus feet of Guru? What is the use of this? Because they are all going to die away. They are all going to leave you at some point of time. So the very transient nature of what we call as pleasure, what we call as our possessions, that is the point he is emphasizing again and again. Actually, this is described very much in great detail in our Shastras. Shastras talk about Yushana Trayam, 3 attachments. Yushana means attachment. 3 attachments. Putreshana, Vitteshana and Lokeshana. Putreshana is attachment to the son. Son means grandson, etc., the family. And Vitteshana is attachment to the wealth, wealth in any form, not only bank deposit, any form. Vitteshana. Then Lokeshana. Lokeshana means fame in the world. That means people should recognize me as a big man, as a large-hearted man, as a learned man, as a wealthy man, and so on. So that is Lokeshana. Loka should talk in praise of me. That is Lokeshana. So these three Ishanas, Ishanatrayam, are the very source of our bondage, because you are always looking at one or two or three or many of these attachments. These attachments are the source of your bondage, and once you get out of this bondage, then only you can think of the last Purushartha, moksha, for which Guru will show you the path. Because moksha is not something easy to attain, so Guru's guidance is required, and Guru cannot guide you unless you relieve yourself from these bondages. So that he is emphasizing again. In fact, if you see Bhaja Govindam is a poem which deals with the subject in great detail in very simple shlokas. Kate kanta kaste putraha samsaroyam ativa vichitraha. Who is your wife? Who is your son? This samsara is something wonderful. It attracts you, but it is non-existent. That's why it is vichitra. Kasyatvam va kuta ajataha tattvam chintaye tadiha bhrataha. To whom do you belong? From where did you come? Did you come from your parents? Do you belong to them? No. They happen to become your parents in this birth. Somebody else was your parent in your last birth. Somebody else will become your parent in your next birth. So you don't get attached to them. Don't claim that you are theirs and they are yours. Tattvam chintaye tadiha bhrataha. You consider, you think of the truth. The truth is that all these are false possessions. There are no true possessions. So go to the true possession. So the wife, the wealth, the progeny, the grandson, the house, the relatives, and all this collection of possessions are of no use to you if your mind is not attached to the lotus feet of Guru. Kalatram dhanam putra pautradi sarvam griham bandhava sarvametadhi jatam manaschen nalagnam gurorangri padme tatakim 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 tatakim.
षडङ्गादिवेदो मुखे शास्त्रविद्या कवित्वादिगद्यं सुपद्यं करोति मनश्चेन्न लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं ततः किम्.
Now this particular stanza is about what is called Vidya Garvam, the arrogance of learning. I am a very learned man. I know so many things which others don't know. Now this arrogance is what he is now demolishing, because that is something which is easy to catch, which many people catch. They may know a little of something and they think they know everything. And particularly these days, knowledge is exploding like anything. What you know is really nothing. That one who knows about this. But many people get carried away by the respect they get for their learning. This respect they get because of the circumstances. In a particular circumstance, your learning is valued because it is useful to somebody else. Because of the usefulness of your learning to someone else, he values you. Like a student values a guru, for example. It does not mean that that particular teacher knows everything and his learning is something which is abnormal. No, not at all. But it is valued because of the help that he is giving. But that recognition is taken seriously, and then this fellow becomes arrogant. So that is what he is trying to demolish, that arrogance. Now, of course, he is putting it in very beautiful, impressive, highly decorative terms. Shadangadi Vedo Mukhe Shastra Vidya. In ancient times, learning was measured in these terms. What are the terms of measurement of learning? You should know all the Vedas. Shadangadi Vedaha. Vedas are four: Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. And Vedas also have Shadanga, six Angas, six parts. Apart from these four Vedas, there are six parts common to all the four Vedas. Now, what are those six parts? Veda is giving a list. Shiksha kalpo vyakaranam niruktam chandasam chayaha jyotisham ayanam chaiva vedangani shadevatu. These are the six Vedangas. Shiksha is the first one. Shiksha is pronunciation. Now, any word in Veda has to be pronounced correctly. Now, we have this Alpa Prana and Mahaprana in Sanskritam, and also there are other sound nuances. Now, all those have to be understood and properly practiced. That is very important. Otherwise, particularly in Veda, the meaning might change. Meaning will change because of pronunciation and because of swara. So, this Vedanga deals with that subject, Shiksha. Next is Kalpaha. Kalpa is the rules of rituals. How to perform a ritual, how to perform the Sandhya Vandana. There are rules, isn't it? This mantra after this mantra, this kriya after this kriya, you do achamanam, you do this, you do that. Then you do japa, then you close the japa with this prayer, and so on. There are a set of rules which you have to follow for anything, for any prayer, any puja, any yaga, anything. So all those rules are listed here in Kalpa. Then the third is Vyakarana. Vyakarana is grammar. How the language of the Vedas is governed by some rules. Now, what are the rules governing the language of the Vedas? That is Vyakarana rules, grammar. Then next is Nirukta, meaning. Because Vedic Sanskrit is not the Sanskrit which we are now familiar with. This is called the Paninian Sanskrit, what we are now learning. This was instituted by Panini. But Vedic Sanskrit was prior to this, and it is slightly different. The words which Veda uses are not commonly used in our present day Sanskrit, in Paninian Sanskrit. So, you have to learn separately what those words are, what those meanings are, how to split those combined words, what is the meaning of each split word, and so on. This is very important. So, Niruktam refers to the interpretation, the meaning of all those words, the derivation also. It says how these words are derived. There is a basic root from which this particular word comes. So, all that is taught to us. Then the next is Chandas. Chandas is the meter in which the prose or poetry is, generally poetry, is constructed, the meter. There are several meters in Sanskrit. Each meter has got its own rules, its own regulations, and you have to follow them. Jyotisham is astrology, because Karma Kanda, the rituals which are listed in Kalpa, how to do this, they are all dependent on time, and time is dependent on the planetary positions. And unless you determine the correct time based on the planetary position, your ritual will become fruitless. You have to do the ritual at the proper time. Now, how to determine the proper time? That is Jyotisha, the science of planetary positions, astrology. Now, somebody has learnt all these six Shadangas. He has also learnt all the four Vedas. Not only that, he has also learnt Shastra Vidya. What is Shastra Vidya? Now, apart from these 10 sources of knowledge, there are 4 more. Now, these 4 more are Mimamsa, Nyaya, Purana, and Dharma Shastra. Mimamsa is the rules explained in detail. Kalpa gives you the list of the rules, what to do. Now here they are explained in detail, and why a particular rule is interpreted in a particular manner. That reasoning is also covered in Mimamsa. The Nyaya is the logic. Why a particular Vedic passage is interpreted in a particular manner. When there is some other passage which gives a different meaning, there may be apparent contradictions. How to reconcile those contradictions? That is Nyaya. Logic. Purana, we all know. Ashtadasha Puranas, 18 Puranas and 18 Upapuranas. Stories connected with Dharma and Adharma. Stories connected with Devatas, human beings and the creation. They are all stories. Dharma Shastra. The last is Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra is what tells you what you should do and what you should not do, the do's and don'ts. Right from morning to evening, depending on Varna Ashrama Dharma, depending on whether you are a Brahmana, whether you are a Kshatriya, whether you are a Vaishya, whether you are a Chaturtha, whether you are a Brahmachari, whether you are a Grahastha, whether you are a Vanaprastha, whether you are a Sannyasi, rules are different. One rule does not apply to the other. So all these rules, rituals, how to perform the ritual, what ritual to be performed at which, on which occasion, all this, what should be performed, what should not be performed. All this are mentioned in Dharma Shastra. This is the weakest link in current today's society. This is where we all lack knowledge or practice of Dharma Shastra. Now, this particular person has mastered 4 Vedas, 6 Vedangas, and 4 Shastras. Not only he has mastered, he has made them Kantastha. He can explain without any reference to any book, Mukhe. At any time, he can clear any doubts without any reference to book, without a reference to piece of paper. Everything is there in his mind. That is why it is there, all of it is there in his Mukha. Mukhe Shastra Vidya. In his Mukha, all these are contained. Not only that, Kavitva Digadyam Supadyam Karoti. Kavitva means intelligence. Ganapati is described as Kavim Kavinam, Upamashravassamam. Out of all intelligent people, he is the most intelligent. That is how the Veda describes Ganapati. Kavi is a poet, a normal meaning, but the basic root meaning is intelligent person. Poet is a secondary meaning. Now, because I am very intelligent, I can compose prose, I can compose good poetry. Gadyam, Supadyam. Gadyam is prose, Supadyam is good poetry. Now, this good, he is attaching to Padya and not to Gadya, because prose, even if it is slightly indifferent, it does not matter. But if your poetry is not good, if your poetry is not attractive, people will not read it. So, poetry should be attractive. Supadyam, beautiful poetry. So, Karoti, he does, he composes. Because he is intelligent, he composes good prose, he composes good poetry. All the 14 sources of knowledge he has mastered. Now, naturally, he is very arrogant. Now, all these 14 are known as Vidyasthanas in our Shastra. Chaturdasha Vidyasthanas. In fact, all these were taught in our ancient universities. People used to go there in a Gurukula system. They used to study all the 14. Now it is impossible to even think of that. Now, not only these 14, there are 4 more. Sometimes they talk about Ashtadasha Vidyasthanas, 4 more. And those 4 are Ayurveda, Arthashastra, Dhanurveda, and Gandharva Veda. Dhanurveda is attached to, all of these are Upavedas attached to a Veda. Dhanurveda is attached to Yajurveda. Dhanurveda is archery, battle technology. Gandharva Veda is science of music, dance, etc. Gandharva Veda, that is attached to Sama Veda, because Sama Veda is musical. Arthashastra, that is from Rig Veda, the economics. Ayurveda, the health part, that is from Atharva Veda. Now, all these 4 are also considered as sources of knowledge, Vidyasthana and Ashtadasha Vidyasthana. So, all this, why we went into detail is, now so much is covered in this half shloka by Adi Shankara, and he is saying that if you have mastered all this is of no use. Now, in fact, in Upanishad, all this is ridiculed this knowledge, not with any evil purpose, but for the purpose of telling us what is substance and what is not substance. Now, all this is no doubt required for our life in this world, but that is not substance. That is what the Upanishad tells us. This is called aparavidya. This is inferior knowledge. All this. Now, what is paravidya? Superior knowledge. Paravidya is something which takes you to Bhagavan, which takes you to moksha. That is only paravidya. That Upanishad has gone into great detail on this. Why it is called aparavidya, why this is called paravidya, and so on. The teacher teaches his shishya all these nuances. Now, here he says, if you are arrogant because of your knowledge of all this, what is the use? Because all this knowledge is not going to help you in finding the last purushartha of moksha, in getting out of this vicious cycle of samsara, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare, shayanam. Now, if you want to get out of this vicious cycle, you need to go to your guru, because without guru's guidance, there is no way you can progress on the path of moksha. So he says, if your mind is not attached to the lotus feet of Guru, what is the use? Shadangadi Vedo Mukhe Shastra Vidya Kavitvadi Gadyam Swapadyam Karoti Manaschayenna Lagnam Guru Rangri Padme Tatakyam 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 Tatakyam. Next, Vasanta Lakshmi.
विदेशेषु मान्यः स्वदेशेषु धन्यः सदाचारवृत्तेषु मत्तो न चान्यः मनश्चेन्न लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं. Sorry.
Now this shloka is referring to the fame which a person gets. Last shloka was about vidya garvam, arrogance of learning. Now this shloka is about arrogance of fame, that you have become a celebrity. If you have become a celebrity, what happens? Videsheshu manyaha. Manyaha means respected, celebrated. In foreign countries. Now, Videsha, now of course, if you say Videsha, it will mean US, UK, Europe, etc. But in the context of Adi Shankara's Stotra, it means the country different from yours, because Bharat Desha itself was divided into 52 Deshas. Vande Desha, Kalinga Desha, Dravida Desha, Gurjara Desha, and so on, Gauda Desha, and so on. Now, if you go from one Desha to another, from Gauda Desha to Kalinga Desha, then you are gone to a Videsha. And if you are a man from Gauda Desha and you are respected in Kalinga Desha, you are respected even more, because you are respected in a Videsha. So that is a great thing. In fact, kings of these various Deshas, kingdoms, they used to call scholars from all corners of Bharata Desha to their Rajya Sabha, and they used to consider it a prestige. If I have attracted a great scholar from a neighboring Desha and he is decorating my Rajya Sabha, I am a great king, because he is a great scholar. So this kind of scholarship and recognition by kings is what he is referring to. Videsheshu manyaha. He is respected in foreign countries. So Desheshu dhanyaha. Not only is he respected in foreign countries, in his own country, he is very lucky, he is very fortunate. He is a punyatma. Dhanyaha, punyatma, very lucky, very fortunate. In his own country, he is endowed with everything, and in foreign countries, he is respected very much. Then not only that, sadachara vritteshu matto na chanyaha. He is thinking that in matters of good conduct, sadachara vritteshu. Sadachara is good conduct, vritteshu matters. In matters of good conduct, because good conduct expresses itself in several ways on several occasions. That is why he used the term vritta. That means the expression of sadachara is not just once on one occasion. You have to continuously show that you are on the path of sadachara. So that is that difficulty of being always on the right side of sadachara is mentioned by using the term vritteshu. That is, in various expressions of sadachara, mattaha nacha anyaha. There is nobody comparable to me. Mattaha means to me. To me, nacha anyaha. Nobody is comparable to me. I am the greatest follower of sadachara. Whatever is described in Dharma Shastra, I am following to the T. So nobody can compete with me, nobody can come anywhere near me. This is the arrogance of sadachara. This is the arrogance of respect which he has earned in his own kingdom and in foreign kingdoms, and because of his conduct, he has earned further. See, getting respect is one thing, getting SS, fame is one thing, and actually following all the rules is another. Actually being a virtuous man is another. This man is respected all over the place. Not only that, he is also on the path of virtue. He is granting that. Adi Shankara is granting that. He is not saying no. He is saying, you are a virtuous man. No denying that. You are a very great celebrity, not only in your country, but in foreign countries. No doubt about it. But all this, what is the use? Because all this fame, all this sadachara have got a purpose. What is the purpose of this fame and this sadachara? The purpose is to take you to the last purushartha, moksha. What is the path which will take you to moksha? Viveka vairagya. Viveka is discrimination. Vairagya is detachment. Now, unless you detach yourself, you can possess all this. You can possess fame. You can definitely be on the path of virtue. It's a great thing. No doubt about it. You should do that. But don't get attached to it. So detach. That is the lesson again and again. So Viveka Vairagya. Vairagya is detachment. Absence of radha, absence of attachment. Viveka is discrimination. That is, sometimes what is dharma and what is adharma, even for a sadachara person, a person who is engaged in good conduct, it is very difficult for him to know what is right and what is wrong. We are all confronted with such situations. Dharma sankata. When two dharmas clash, both are dharmas. I have to do this and I have to do. If I do this, I cannot do that. So when this happens, you have to decide on the basis of Dharma Shastra plus on the basis of what is good for you, what is good for your spiritual advancement. That is Viveka, discrimination. Now, that is the lower level of discrimination. The higher level of discrimination is, I don't care for the fame, I don't care for my being on Sadachara. I will continue to be on Sadachara, but I don't care for it. I don't place too much emphasis on that in my mind, but my mind is always on the lotus feet of Guru. If that is your attitude, all this is very good. That is what he says. So if your mind is not attached to the lotus feet of Guru, what is the use of all this? Videsheshu manyah sadesheshu dhanyah sadachara vritteshu matto na chanyah manaschenna lagnam guror angri padme tatakyam 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 tatakyam. Now time is up for today. We stop here. We continue with the rest of Guru Ashtakam and continue with the next stotra with the blessings of Acharya tomorrow. If there are any questions, please let me know. We can answer those questions before we close.
There are no questions, Mama.
Nothing?
No questions.
No? Okay. So I wish everyone all the best. I reiterate Pereva's Ajna that more and more people should get benefit from Adi Shankara's teachings. More and more people should join this program. So please give publicity. Please make people join this program. I wish all of you all the best. And we close for the day. नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेवा।